Buenos días, clase. Hoy es lunes y hoy es el 11 de mayo. Muy bien. I want to share with you some expectations as we move forward. I've had a lot of the same questions that I hope to answer in today's short video. First of all, what are the weekly expectations for your children's book story? I would like you to have basically the draft of your entire story written by now. If you're struggling with ideas, please email me. I can also give you some sentence frames and some starters. You can also look in last week's discussion post, and find about 5 to 6 links for different children's books in Spanish electronically that you can find in the St. Paul Public Library and St. Paul Schools Library. So I really encourage you to read children's books to give you an idea of what to write about if you are stuck and struggling and brainstorming. Always email me too. I've had some great conversations back and forth on emails. I will continue my office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays if you care to meet in person. We can also even set up an office hour, just you and I, where we discuss your book and how to complete the draft. So as I give you your edit marks on your drafts, you'll want to every week work through the whole draft and resubmit. I'll continue editing it. By Monday, you'll get a new draft back to you with edit marks, and then by the end of the week, you'll resubmit. So you really want to have your draft written, 3 to 5 times until you get it where it's actually perfect. If you look at my calendar that I set up too, you'll see that by around May 22nd, as you're nearing the end of May, you really want to have the story finished, because you're going to start to create it on Google Slides, where you start to create the book. Google Slides is just a perfect template. It's a blank template where you can include your own drawings. You can use illustrations also from Google. And I'll show you next week how to make sure that the illustrations you're using, if you're using images on the web, that they're not copyrighted, because we cannot use images that are not allowed to be taken without permission. So that's the expectation. Weekly drafts, submit them to me. I will edit them and unsubmit, and this is weekly. With regards to grades, I'm basically giving students a 4 out of 8 for the draft, and then an 8 out of 8 once you have completed the final book. If you do not submit to me a draft, a children's book story, you will not get credit for this quarter. So you must at least write the story. Okay, so let me make that clear. You must write the story in order to pass the class. Okay. I think that's about it for drafts, grades, how to edit. Take a look at the calendar again, calendario, and then again, creating your own illustrations, or if you're using other illustrations, you're making sure that you have permission to do so. And I'll show you how to set up those settings next week. I'm expecting most people to wait for their illustrations until their story is written. The story, honestly, is the most challenging part, and students seem to find it really exciting to get going on the illustrations once they've created a story without errors. Número 2, mira el link del video. This is a video of the illustrator of Last Stop on Market Street. You read the story last week, or I think perhaps the week before, but the illustrator starts to give you some ideas on illustrating your story. I really want you to consider sort of this graphic as you're looking at representing diversity in children's books. The question for the week is, what is one aspect of your children's book that allows the reader, not just your kindergartner, but any reader, to see themselves in your story? Consider gender, race, culture, socioeconomic status, language, disabilities, sexuality, etc. In other words, how is your children's book challenging these statistics below? And these statistics are really horrifying when you look at 73% of the main characters are white. And when I just read a recent statistic as well, that there are 5 times as many boys as there are girls. 12% are animals or trucks. And then it goes to 7% kids of color. So African Americans, 3% Asian, 2% Latino, and less than 1% Native American. And so, as you begin including different characters in your book, consider this, and your challenge is to challenge this statistic and create something that is more inclusive of a wider audience. So, that is all I have for now. I am really loving all the questions that you're posting, questions that you are emailing me. Keep up the great work. I really hope you're all staying healthy and for the most part happy. I saw many of you on the Spirit Caravan driving through the Highland neighborhood. For those of you who don't live in the Highland neighborhood, we hope to make it to your end and to where you live. We hope to plan future caravans. All right. Have a great week. Muy bien. Adios.